Dante's Inferno, Canto 10. Farinata Cavalcante de Cavalcante. Discourse on the Knowledge of the Damned. Now onward goes along a narrow path between the torments and the city wall my master, and I follow at his back. O power supreme, that through these impious circles turnest me, I began, as pleases thee, speak to me, and my longings satisfy. The people who are lying in these tombs, might they be seen? Already are uplifted the covers all, and no one keepeth guard. And he to me, they all will be closed up when Jehoshaphat they shall return, here with the bodies they have left above. Their cemetery have upon this side with Epicurus all his followers, who with the body mortal make the soul. But in the question thou dost put to me, wherein here shalt thou soon be satisfied, and likewise in the wish thou keepest silent. And I, good leader, I but keep concealed from thee my heart, that I may speak the less, nor only now hast thou thereto disposed me. O Tuscan, thou who through the city of fire goest alive, thus speaking modestly, be pleased to stay thy footsteps in this place. Thy mode of speaking makes thee manifest a native of that noble fatherland, to which perhaps I too molestful was. Upon a sudden issued forth this sound from out one of the tombs, wherefore I pressed, fearing, a little nearer to my leader. And unto me he said, Turn thee! What dost thou? Behold there Farinata, who is risen. From the waist upwards wholly shalt thou see him. I had already fixed mine eyes on his, and he uprose erect with breast in front, even as if hell he had in great despite. And with courageous hands and prompt my leader thrust me between the sepulchres towards him, exclaiming, Let thy words explicit be. As soon as I was at the foot of his tomb, somewhat he eyed me, and as if disdainful, then asked of me, Who were thine ancestors? I, who, desirous of obeying, was, concealed it not, but all revealed to him, whereat he raised his brows a little upward. Then said he, Fiercely adverse have they been to me, and to my fathers and my party, so that several times I scattered them. If they were banished, they returned on all sides, I answered him, the first time and the second. For yours have not acquired that art aright. Then there arose upon the sight, uncovered down to the chin, a shadow at his side. I think that he had risen on his knees. Round me he gazed, as if solicitude he had to see if someone else were with me. But after his suspicion was all spent, weeping, he said to me, If through this blind prison thou goest by loftiness of genius, where is my son, and why is he not with thee? And I to him, I come not of myself. He who is waiting yonder leads me here, whom in disdain perhaps your Guido had. His language and the mode of punishment already on to me had read his name. On that account my answer was so full. Upstarting suddenly, he cried out, How saidst thou he had? Is he not still alive? Does not the sweet light strike upon his eyes? When he became aware of some delay, which I before my answer made, supine he fell again, and forth appeared no more. But the other, magnanimous, at whose desire I had remained, did not his aspect change, neither his neck he moved, nor bent his side. And if, continuing his first discourse, they have that art, he said, not learned aright, that more tormenteth me than doth this bed, but 50 times shall not rekindled be the countenance of the lady who reigns here, ere thou shalt know how heavy is that art. And as thou wouldst to the sweet world return, say why that people is so pitiless against my race in each one of its laws. Whence I to him, the slaughter and great carnage which have with crimson stained the Arbia caused such orisons in our temple to be made. after his head he with a sigh had shaken. There I was, not alone, he said, not surely without a cause had with the others moved. But there I was, alone, where everyone consented to the laying waste of Florence, he who defended her with open face. Ah, so hereafter may your seed repose, I him entreated. Solve for me that knot which has entangled my conceptions here. It seems that you can see, if I hear rightly, beforehand whatsoever time brings with it, and in the present have another mode. We see, like those who have in perfect sight, the things, he said, that are distant from us. So much still shines on us the sovereign ruler. When they draw near or are, is wholly vain our intellect, and if none brings it to us, not anything know we of your human state. Hence thou canst understand that wholly dead will be our knowledge from the moment when the portal of the future shall be closed. Then I, as if compunctious for my fault, said, Now then, you will tell that fallen one that still his son is with the living joined. And if just now in answering I was dumb, tell him I did it because I was thinking already of the error you have solved me. And now my master was recalling me, wherefore more eagerly I prayed the spirit that he would tell me who was with him there. He said, With more than 1,000 here I lie. Within here is the second Frederick and the cardinal, and the rest I speak not. Thereon he hid himself, and I towards the ancient poet turned my steps, reflecting upon that saying which seemed hostile to me. He moved along, and afterward thus going, he said to me, Why art thou so bewildered? And I in his inquiry satisfied him. Let memory preserve what thou hast heard against thyself, that sage commanded me. And now attend here. And he raised his finger. When thou shalt be before the radiant sweet of her whose beauteous eyes all things behold, from her thou'lt know the journey of thy life. Unto the left hand then he turned his feet. We left the wall and went towards the middle, along a path that strikes into a valley, which even up there unpleasant made its stench. So what's going on in this canto is they're in amongst the tombs of the heresiarchs, the chief architects of various heresies, and all the tombs are open, but they're to be revealed, but still they're in these tombs. And one of the main heresies they come across are the Epicureans, and the Epicureans were a heresy that believed that the body and the soul died at death. And so this life was all that we had, very similar to a lot of modern heresies, and that therefore they indulged in everything. You know, this is all that they had. So that view was even regarded as vulgar within pagan mythologies, because, for example, with Stoicism at least, they believed in sacrifice and pain and struggle, even with the knowledge of death. So it's interesting that that's the heresy that Dante points out here, because he could have picked any of the Christian heresies, specifically Gnosticism, agnosticism, Arianism, Nestorianism, but he doesn't. He picks one that I think is more universal, and that's why he picks it. It's so Christian audience alike can access to it and show the inherent selfishness of such a heretical view. And so, as one commentary pointed out, this is one of the best cantos in pointing out that it holds the Christian view. So even though we have this Epicurean view, which is not just a Christian issue to work with, you have the immortality of the soul. The soul doesn't die, and so that's the real fate of hell beyond the suffering, is whatever sinful thing locked you into hell keeps you there and keeps you in that state. You're never able to repair yourself unto God. The last note is, of course, if you look at their vision, it's an irony, because the heretics had such false vision of the future of doctrine and life. that's all they can see. They cannot see the present. So it's a reversal of their choices in life.